Here's another update of my Fusion 10 gallon and Nano Cube 28 gallon for mid-October 2016. Much better news this month. First of all, I'll talk about my changes and new equipment for this month. I'll start with the changes. It's been quite a few. One of my changes would be I moved my remaining Zoas from my Fusion to my Nano Cube because I wanted to just to keep SPS in my 10 gallon. So now my Fusion is 100% SBS dominant, which is what I wanted. I also rearranged my live rock inside my Nano Cube. Kind of looks like an island. That will be seen later on in the video. I started using BRS carbon and GFO in the Nano Cube, and I've noticed less algae due to that. That's pretty good thing. I started using ESV 2-part for calcium and alkalinity instead of Kent Marine because of better customer feedback from ESV. My new equipment is Micro Auto Top Off, Smart Auto Micro, made by Auto Aqua, which is quieter and sleeker than my Auto Top Off in my other tank, my 28 gallon. My remaining SPS seem to be coming back in my Nano Cube, which is only like 2 pieces, but any recovery is good. Here's my Fusion 10 gallon full front view. All of my SPS are gaining their color again. Like I mentioned, is SPS dominated. I'm dosing nightly 2 millimeters of calcium and alkalinity. In this tank, I'm using ESV 2-part. Calcium is 380, magnesium 1280, which would be considered a little low. I might dose at that manually later on. And alkalinity is 9.4. Calcium and alkalinity, I use the Red Sea testers, which are pretty easy to use. Calcium, magnesium. Alkalinity, I use the HANA checker, which is even easier to use. I compared my API and Red Sea calcium testers, and they pretty much come out the same. So, at least for calcium, API is not too bad. Here's my Fusion 10 gallon right side view from the front. All the frags that I transferred from my other tank and my original frags are doing well inside my Fusion 10 gallon. Examples of improvements will be the Mystic Sunset Monty finally showing its polyps. I think it's much easier to keep just SPS and nothing else inside such a small tank than trying to keep LPS and softies that will try to sting and kill your SPS all the time. I wanted to mention that my Jebao DP4 dosing pump is doing its job pretty well by dosing my 2-part nightly. Here's my Fusion 10 gallon left side view from the front. Yep, everything's recovering, gaining color. In my experience, the plating Monties are the fastest growers. That's why I've mentioned before I have them towards the back. Despite using high alk salt like Red Sea, alkalinity still dropped after about 2 weeks. So it went from 13 DKH when I overdosed to 8.5 DKH when I started dosing again, which is very interesting. That's why you got to keep an eye on your alkalinity for when you have so many SPS. Yeah, I waited for my DKH to drop before I started dosing again, so I would stop shocking my corals. Here's my Nanocube 28 gallon full front view. Everything is recovering in this tank also. I'm still using Kent Marine Nano Reef Part A and B 2-part until it's spent, since I still have a lot in my other 2 containers. I will be changing to ESV 2-part after that because of the better track record that ESV has with other reefers. I rearranged my live rock into a single island style towards the middle. I like the new look. Since my big SPS died, I was able to do that. Now, the new scape is more stable and clean, which is important. The other setup, my rocks were always falling, or my clown would knock them over. The remaining pieces of SPS seem to be recovering, which is a good thing. Maybe I bring back a couple of SPS once they grow. I wanted to mention the Tunzi oscillator Nano. The pump and flow switch magnets are rusting. That's pretty weird, but it's kind of old, so we'll see what happens there. I'll probably have to replace both those parts, or maybe get a new auto top off. I'll have to think about that. Here's my Nano Cube right side view from the front. As can be seen there, I brought up all my zoas from the other tank and made a nice little zoa garden. I, I, I left more room in between them so they can grow out and not grow over each other too easily. Zoas are pretty fast growers though. Even in this tank with almost all SPS gone, I still have LPS in here. It's still necessary to dose. So there you go. I dose part A at 11 and part B at 12 p.m. to avoid precipitation, which is the same schedule as my other tank. Green star bulb is growing and looking nice as usual. Every time I have house guests, they're like, "Oh my God, it looks just like grass," and it even moves like grass in the wind, which is pretty cool. Here's my Nano Cube left side view from the front. My poor rose bubble tip is still inside the tank, but it shrank to almost nothing and lost most of its tentacles, but it seems to be bouncing back. Hopefully one day it will be big like it was before. Right now it's hiding on the side of the live rock. I do feed it when I feed my corals. It can seem to have lost a little color after introducing GFO, but it's coming back. I only use a little bit of GFO, way less than is recommended. That's a tip that I got from other reefers, and even BRS. You gotta start very slow with GFO, so you don't shock the tank. I plan to change GFO and carbon at least once a month. We'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. But I have way less green algae on the glass and stuff after using GFO and carbon. Overall, my tanks are doing much better than a month ago, which is a relief. And I'll end the video with some full tank shots. Here's my Fusion 10-gallon full tank shot. Pretty nice. Everything's looking happy. And my Nanocube 28-gallon full tank shot. I hope everybody liked the video. And thanks for watching. Comment, share, and subscribe. See you on the next one.